peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
It is ridiculous and it is against the laws of nature that we can have somebody sitting pretty who takes home more money than the credible entrepreneur who is doing actual production of goods and services.
We always say it as it is.
It is only in this country that when a thief is arrested, you hear elders from their tribe saying, "He is our son and he is our thief."
If you are deviant
Yes.
and I call you leader, probably you are already a leader, but you are leading in the wrong direction.
We want to see the role of the youth
Yeah.
in the security,
Yes.
governance,
Yes.
and development.
The youth that I meet and work with here, you know, we call them the millennials and X's, Y's, this and that. They don't necessarily want to live like their fathers and grandfathers,
Yes.
do business like their fathers and grandfathers. They're more independent, they're better educated, and they're the ones that are making everything move in this region.
We look at the issues, we talk about issues that impact people's lives in Africa.
The African peoples themselves continue to cheer bad leaders, and because they cheer them on, they continue to be misled.
Let me ask you, doctor, would you rather be somebody who does not enjoy so much freedom but you are rich?
Yes.
Or you'd rather be poor who you are actually imprisoned by the poverty itself?
My goal is not to come here and say, I want the majority ownership, I want to own this, I want to own that, I want to do this. My goal is we all make money and we're all happy, and I help build a big business here.
Punchline is for Africa, with Africa, from Africa.
The government of Kenya is keen on the development of social economic infrastructure to support the realization of the Big Four Agenda and Vision 2030. The ambitious infrastructure projects are aimed at opening up the country for business and bolster productivity, particularly in the agricultural, manufacturing and the service industry, as this would bolster employment opportunities. Part of these critical infrastructure projects include the ongoing 27-kilometer expressway linking Nairobi's Jomo Kenyatta International Airport and Nairobi's Westlands. Upon completion, the expressway will exponentially reduce travel times within Nairobi and thus help the country save man-hours, which is being lost in the traffic jams on a daily basis. The Lake Victoria Port Modernization Project to increase cargo handling capacity of the port and to increase Kenya's bilateral and multilateral trading within the region. The expansion of healthcare facilities to facilitate fruition of the country's universal healthcare coverage under the Big Four Agenda. By speeding up movement of people and goods, the government is aiming to promote trading through reduction of travel times and costs. To you and thank you for joining us. This is Good Morning Africa. My name is Miriam Gutu and we're coming to you from Nairobi, which is the Kenya's capital city, and East African time a few minutes past 9 a.m. I trust your day has started off well. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're tuned in. And so we have a lot to talk about today. Before I get into the headlines and I bring in my panelists this morning, I'd like to bring us up to date with the latest figures in line with COVID-19. And the number of confirmed cases in Kenya this morning stands at 109,000. 643 cases, and the death toll has topped 1,886, and the recovery so far is 87,736. Uganda, the figures right now is at 40,490. Death toll is 334. Recoveries is 15,075. And South Africa, the leading country in Africa in terms of the number of deaths and also confirmed cases, right now stands at 1,522,697. The death toll in South Africa has reached 50,906, and recovery so far is 1,444,282. Let's just go quickly to the total cases in Africa this morning, where the number of confirmed cases in Africa is at 3,040,425. The number of people who have since died in the continent from COVID-19 stands at 102,700. Recovery so far is at 2,705,555. So that is where we are as Africa this morning. But I'm sure those figures, perhaps they've since changed, because we looked at that a few minutes ago, and every country keep updating the latest figures as they receive them. So you might go looking and then you find a totally different figure there. But that's how we are doing in terms of COVID-19. I'm joined this morning by Douglas Kirimi from Meru County here in Kenya. Douglas, a very good morning to you.
Very good morning to you, Miriam Ogutu, to our crew at our headquarters in Nairobi, and also to my friend Jevan Karanja from Nanyuki, and also to our viewers across the world. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are watching us from. Thank you, Miriam.
Very well, thank you so much, and welcome to the show, Douglas. We're also joined by Jevan Karanja from Nanyuki. Jevan, good morning.
Good morning to you, Miriam, and good morning to our viewers wherever they are watching us from. And good morning to my friend Douglas Kiremi. Always a pleasure showing up in Punchline TV.
Okay, it's nice to have you, Jevan, this morning. I don't know, how is Nanyuki? Is it rainy? Is it sunny? What is the weather there?
It is sunny, not yet a rainy season.
Okay, lovely. Also here in Nairobi, we are doing just fine. We're also joined by Musa. I don't know if he's ready or is still, joining the conversation. Musa, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam. How are you? Thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful to being here.
All right, Musa, it's a pleasure to have you this morning. So we do have a lot to talk about, but before we get into it, I'll just read quickly the headlines in all the three leading newspapers, the Daily Nation, the Star newspaper, and the Standard. And the main headline on the Daily Nation this morning: Raila taken ill, advised to go into isolation. Symptoms, nature of illness was not immediately clear, though aides explained that Mr. Odinga was experiencing body ache and feeling tired. He underwent several tests at the Nairobi hospital before doctors recommended 2 weeks of isolation. And then down there, Freedom on Friday, Uhuru holds the key. And so Uhuru holds the key to our freedom. It's very interesting how these newspapers can, these headlines at the Freedom on Friday. All right, do we rather have that freedom of just try to keep safe? I don't understand. Then up there, a COVID African leader at Nairobi hospital. Rumors have it, one of our neighboring presidents around here who has been very defiant when it comes to COVID-19 could be this country getting treatment for the same thing he's been denying. I will not name names, but I'm just saying we shall talk about it later. And then we turn our attention to the Star newspaper. Raila checks into Nairobi hospital for series of tests. The same story up there. MPs Wanga and Gogo in near cat fight in Parliament. Now this is very this is just out of order. And then just beside that, Tabitha shocked at photo of Tekra's old bearded boyfriend. And apparently that lady was wired so much money for her boyfriend, the daughter of Keroche boss there. And on the Standard newspaper this morning, the main headline, Raila's option if things fall apart. In the aftermath of last weekend's outburst by close associates of the two handshake partners, allies have been quick to dismiss fears raised as a mere storm in a teacup. But what would happen if push came to shove and the ODM leader exited? We explore options available to the Orange Supremo. And I think that is the main headline, and maybe that is where we start our conversation this morning. So the Standard is just trying to look at perhaps the possible options Raila would have. First of all, why would Raila go to a handshake, then start this process of constitutional changes, and then he decides to bolt out before even the process is completed? Do you think he would do such a thing, Douglas?
Thank you, Miriam. One thing I need to bring to attention of our viewers is that Raila is a statesman, and what they have started together, they are going to bring to completion. Remember when they brought the 2010 constitution, we never saw Raila stick to the 2010 constitution. After the 2010 constitution, Raila went ahead to run for president in 2013 without the trappings of the 2010 constitution. We all know his role in the 2010 constitution and all that. But the other issue is that Raila himself has been on record saying that after the handshake, after delivering the constitutional moment, after delivering the changes, the amendments into the constitution of the Republic of Kenya, the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga has said of a politician, the president shall go the way of a legacy president. He shall go the way of creating and consolidating his legacy. As the president seeks to pacify his legacy, remember Raila is not the president and is not a civil servant. Raila is going to go the way of a politician, and this way of a politician is to arrange himself and also decide on the way that he shall go, and decide on the way that this party, ODM party, shall go, Miriam. So I think from my perspective is that after this constitutional moment, Raila has also hinted again that this referendum will come around June, and if it takes to July, we shall be able to deliver that. After delivering that, then Raila shall go is the way of a politician. And the way of a politician, Miriam, is the way of politics. And remember, the president is not on the ballot as a president in 2022, so Raila is free to go his own way. After this constitutional moment, Miriam, the only beneficial thing and to the interest of Raila, the ODM fraternity and his supporters, is to go the way of a politician. Then the president shall go the way of a legacy president, so that he can go and consolidate and also pacify his achievements as a president, so that he can live a better and a united Kenya. As Raila and others jostle for the position of president, and others will be jostling for positions of MCAs, and that is the way of politicians. There is nothing else that Raila will do after the delivery of the constitutional moment. This handshake is coming to an end before this year, Miriam, because at the end of the day, this is the only thing that they had agreed on, delivering the constitutional moment. Then Raila will go the way of a politician, Miriam. Thank you.
When you say this handshake will come to an end, because this handshake was bigger than just delivering a constitution or delivering or the next elections, this from what we hear, these two principals tell us all the time when they talk about and they refer to why they even came together and had this handshake that we talked about yesterday. It was celebrating 3 years. It goes beyond, the politics. It was meant to, from my understanding of what President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila has been saying, to find a healing path for Kenya. So it just goes beyond. So when you say after this year, after the constitution has been amended and people have gone for the referendum, then the handshake is over, what do you mean by that? Because I tend to believe it's more than just the baby eye, it's more than just the elections for next year. You don't see them working together to continue working together and continue ensuring that Kenyans are united.
2 minutes, Miriam, I'll answer your question, then we will move on. Remember, Miriam, Raila is a politician. Raila is a politician, and we cannot gainsay that. Raila is a presidential material. Raila is someone that can run for president anytime. And Miriam, remember, in politics, we are all guided by interest, including those people that we have from the coastal province, central province, and also western and Nyanza, and also Rift Valley. They are talking about their regions, what are their regions going to get and all that. So what I believe, Miriam, is that handshake was beyond politics and all that, and the constitutional moment, Miriam, a bait devoid of politics that has been rocking the boat, is that these people will continue being brothers the way they are and unifying the country, but that does not stop Raila from running for president, Miriam. And also that does not mean that Raila is going to run on the banner of my brother shenanigan that is flying around. People think that the president is going to anoint him at Uhuru Park and lift his hand and say, this is my preferred successor. No, Miriam, we need to separate a bit of Raila's personal ambition
and
from the handshake.
And that is what I was trying to understand, because the handshake really has nothing to do with
Raila's personal ambition to run for president, and also president. agenda to unite the country and leaders, that one is going to be intact. They are going to continue uniting the country. But Raila's personal ambition to be president is very separate from
the handshake.
And also
and that is what I wanted to understand, because when you say the handshake will be over by the end of this year, I wondered, okay, this had nothing to do with, elections, because that is what they've been saying, and that is what how they've been living and interacting, separating politics of 2022 and succession from the handshake, because that is something that is completely different, and we've seen how those two principles have been acting. Jevan, why would anybody think that Raila would be irresponsible enough to drop the ball before he even sees this process that he and President Uhuru Kenyatta started, sees this to completion?
Thank you, Miriam. But one thing that former Prime Minister Raila Odinga is known for is he's consistent. When he starts something, he makes sure that he goes till end of it. And this process of handshake, Rita to BBI, this process, Raila Amolo Odinga will go with it till the terminal end. I don't see him taking a back or turning back, because that is who he is politically. Miriam, when we had this 2010 constitution, he started, we went, and until the constitution was promulgated. Therefore, I see BBI going to a point of promulgation, or if Kenyans will decide otherwise, Raila Odinga will push it until the tail end. That's the consistency we have seen from a former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. But Miriam, there are people who are reading a lot of confusion, especially those in the inner circle of Raila Amolo Odinga, those who have been pushing him, maybe who see that maybe through this handshake, maybe in one way or the other, Raila might not run for presidency or so on. Those are the people who are worried. And I see, although the feeling is mutual, even to the people in the inner circle of President Uhuru Kenyatta, who are sometimes paranoid when it comes to when they see Raila Odinga coming to central Kenya and so on, and they think maybe there's something that Raila Odinga might succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta automatically in 2022. But that is not the case. BBI is not about 2022, but it is beyond 2022, because what we are trying to solve, Miriam, are things that makes us divide, is things that make this country to go to chaos. Those are the solutions that we are trying to fight through BBI. Therefore, BBI will go beyond 2022, beyond 2027, and other generations will come and try to see what is making this country not unite, and they will come with another process. They will come with other remedies. Therefore, this is just a preventive and curative measures to ensure that as a country we move on the right track when it comes to managing our affairs, electoral, fight against corruption, tribal aminosity, and so on. Therefore, BBI, to me, I see it as a long-term process, it's a long-term goal, and Miriam, although, even if it not be achieved by President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga, the generation that will come, they also need to unite this country, because nobody wants to live in a country that is disintegrated, but we want a united country. For me, I don't see Raila Amolo Odinga walking away from handshake or President Uhuru Kenyatta, because they are determined, not about them, it is about Kenyans. And I think when you have the ambitions of Kenyans, you can do everything to ensure that the country is well. But for your own ambition, you can walk away anytime, depending on the nature of the clouds. But now, because of the interest of Kenyans, and Miriam, we must understand the contents of the BBI, they came from Kenyans. Therefore, from where we are now, even if today Raila Odinga decides to leave handshake, and to leave BBI, even if President Uhuru Kenyatta decides to leave the BBI process will continue, because now it moved from them. Now it's a document that is owned by Kenyans. Kenyans are the one now who own the document. Even if they decide to disunite and go their different ways, Kenyans will push the BBI till referendum.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very well said. So in case you're wondering, we're looking at the news making headlines this morning, the leading newspapers, and we are on the Standard newspaper, where the headline there is Raila's options if things fall apart. In the aftermath of the last weekend's outburst by close associates of the two handshake partners, allies have been quick to dismiss fears raised as a mere storm in a teacup. But what would happen if push came to shove and the ODM leader exited? Musa, how would you respond to that? What would happen if Raila exited from, the arrangement they have with President Uhuru Kenyatta and the handshake altogether?
Miriam, to my humble opinion, is that Raila Amolo Odinga is one of the guys and core principles who have ensured, in a way, the unity, achievement and consolidation of what has been happening as far as election violence is concerned, has been working with Uhuru Kenyatta. So, actually, let us be political now. BBI, let us forget the 9-point agenda. BBI is Raila Amolo Odinga, BBI is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, being politically speaking here. And so BBI, when Raila withdraws, then I think it becomes some sort of a bill, just a parliamentary bill. So this is a covenant between, two politicians, Miriam. So when I see one withdrawing, then even in Christianity, the covenant becomes null and void. This was a measure of bringing two people together, not only forged by Kenyan part. In African politics, in the European one, you are told we really forget. We regretful that Miriam had to resign due to our conscience and ideologies. But in Africa, you are told, I decided to step out because our people had not been represented, Miriam. And, I see that coming out when yesterday James Orengo said the meeting at State House has nothing to do with cooling the tension. But Miriam, we know very well, if indeed there were no tension, then why calling the meeting yesterday? And to make it further complicated, Miriam, if indeed there was no problem, then why were people calling each other, and why there was a convention to be held at Kamukunji? So things are there, Miriam, and where maybe the ODM counterparts and the NASA brigade and Raila Amolo Odinga now is finding himself in a very hard situation, is the time when he got into this handshake, Miriam, and Raila, in a way, other people were left behind. He did not leave them behind necessarily, but his principles, Moses Wetangula, Musalia Mudavadi left. They felt that they were now excluded, and there was this narrative the other day that handshake need to be broadened and handshake need to be widened for it to accommodate more principles. And the final issue here is that, Miriam, people have started mixing the outcome of BBI with 2022 succession politics. We are going to have a position of a prime minister. We are going to have a position of a deputy prime minister, leader of the opposition. All these are positions which are politically in bargain, Miriam. So people feel there are some people who are going to lose when BBI shall pass. There are some who are going to benefit when BBI shall pass. So now, whatever you are seeing, the scarf you are seeing around Raila Amolo Odinga's camp threatening to withdraw from BBI is as a result of some interest being not made, Miriam. Because I understand, as long as it was ideal, it was also meant to skew and push off some political leadership that me and you, we know, the likes of William Ruto. But now people have started to see, actually the problem is not really aimed at the deputy president, but now the internal mechanisms of the BBI and its implication, people and these leaders, the topmost leaders, have started feeling, in a way, it might have an implication on them. And so there is that reassessment, there is that rediscussion, there is that negotiations here and there, Miriam. And I believe, I will not be shocked if this BBI will pass. I'm not going to be shocked. It is going to pass. But after that, what next after BBI? Are we going to talk succession politics? That will now be the hard place for Raila Amolo Odinga, Miriam.
Okay, very well said. Thank you so much, Musa Abdi. So Winnie Mutula, professor of political science, has been quoted here as saying the handshake has saved the current regime. Without it, the president would have had a difficult time. If the handshake crumbles, we would go into the 2022 polls in a difficult manner. What do you make of those sentiments, Douglas? Javan?
Thank you, Miriam. I agree to some extent that the BBI, the handshake rather, has made President Uhuru Kenyatta to deliver on his mandate without so much strain. And Miriam, that has come out very clearly because the opposition that was there in 2013 to 2017 was quite vibrant, Miriam, and you could see they were calling out the Euroboard, the NYS corruption and so on, and they were quite agitating for the rights of people of Kenya, especially those who are not the common wananchi. And it was quite a very good moment because Miriam, I remember those times when we had the opposition led by Raila Odinga 2013-2017. We came to know a lot of things that were happening, some hidden things that were happening in the government that were not disclosed to the public, coming to limelight through the opposition then. But since then, and you could see the same people in government, and especially even from the camp of Deputy President, complaining that those guys in opposition, they are doing a lot of noise and they are disturbing the service delivery to Kenyans and so on. And Miriam, that was the case. But now there's no noise from opposition. It is quite, it is not vibrant as it was. They are trying to make a voice one or two, but they are not really on their mandate. And that is how President Uhuru Kenyatta has been able to deliver. And you see the conversation now has turned to concentrate more on what President Uhuru Kenyatta is doing rather than what he is not doing. That is the climate and the environment that has been created by the handshake. But all said and done, I think the handshake is good. But in future, Miriam, we need to have an opposition really working to ensure that it keeps a check and a balance on the government of the day. That is why I see BBI as a very, very progressive document, because it talks of having an official opposition leader who will have to do his mandate constitutionally. And that will be quite impressive, because even there will be no need, Miriam, in the future to have these handshakes, because I see the main issue here that also caused us to have the handshake was the opposition. After you lose, after you come second position in a presidential election, where do you go to? You have the numbers, you have everything. You are not official or opposition. You are just there making noise. And I think through BBI, the issue of handshake, Miriam, will come to an end, because when you come the second position and the election was fair and credible, you go to the opposition and you start delivering your mandate to the people of Kenya. Therefore, this to me was like the last handshake in terms of electoral injustices. But in future media, we might have other handshakes when we want to get something else done. But for now, we have done something very incredible. And I think that was that to me is very good, because we need a government that will be checked. This environment, Miriam, President Uhuru Kenyatta has a very good environment, he is delivering, but we also need to know one or two, three things that he might not be doing, that he might be doing wrong. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And you're saying this environment is very good. President Kenyatta himself, has said that the handshake could be the best thing that has ever happened to him as the head of state, because he's been, he sleeps very easy at night now. So he appreciates this handshake. And also we should, at 11 a.m., we should see what the son of Jomo has been up to in terms of cementing his legacy there. We shall be looking at President Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy at 11 a.m. So we shall get into that and see the infrastructure development in the country and how far he has been able to achieve. Douglas, this professor of political science, Winnie Mitula, is quoted as saying, if the handshake crumbles, we would go into the 2022 polls in a difficult manner. Does a peaceful election 2022 hinge on the outcome of this handshake?
Thank you, Miriam. One thing we need to be very clear is that this handshake is something that happened to the Republic of Kenya. It has given the president a peace of mind. You can imagine the resist movement that was going around the country, boycotting economic stuffs and all that. People were not able to sell their products because they were listed under the infamous list that Raila would just make an appearance and do a press conference and appear there and list products that they shall go to resist and all that. At the end of the day, when we put a catch on 2022 based on the handshake, we are missing the point. We are missing the point because, Miriam, at the end of the day, this country was on the periphery of war. We need to be able to separate issues and also separate personal ambitions of people. Remember, when Andy Sheikh happened, what was brought together by the president and the former prime minister was the tranquility that we experience as a country. Now the government can be able to deliver road projects, can be able to deliver the marine school in Kisumu Railway Marine School, and all that. At the end of the day, people in Coast can be able to experience that inclusivity at a 360 angle. And when you now tell us in 2022 that if the Andy Sheikh crumbles, that now the 2022 election will have problems, you are missing the point. You are missing the point because there is nothing that stops Kenyans doing elections in 2022, or they can postpone it in 2024, like I've always said. But if Kenyans go to 2022 or 2024 and hold these elections, Miriam, Andy Sheikh cannot be able to affect that, because Andy Sheikh, like you have said and others have said and have said, it is beyond politics, Miriam. People are around to present their personal ambitions to the people of Kenya and sell their agenda. But what has been the problem that Professor would have said is that this Deputy President William Ruto, who has been in government and also at the same time campaigning for his own personal ambition, we agreed, Miriam, Professor Jared Onyari cannot use the internet of where he teaches at university, where he lectures. He cannot use that internet to continue advancing his own digital company from his office, from the university that he lectures from. Because William Ruto has gone ahead to destroy the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta using state resources, using state protocols and everything to be able to advance his own personal ambition. That is what is bringing problems in this country. It is not about a 2022 election, Miriam. This is not a catch based on a crumbling or also upholding of the Andy Sheikh, because the Andy Sheikh is beyond that. The Andy Sheikh has brought us a constitutional moment. Kenyans have been able to interact with themselves. Kenyans have been able to come up with ideas that they think that can be entrenched in the constitution and be able to bring forth a Kenya that they want to live for their children and bequeath them a better country. But at the end of the day, we need to see the real problem. The real issues are these civil servants who are moving around campaigning for 2022 and also moving around and shouting how they are going to change things in 2022. Miriam, in the morning I had a revelation. What is this Deputy President William Ruto wants to keep talking about 2022 that he cannot do today? For the last 8 years, he has been a Deputy President with the President Uhuru Kenyatta. In 2013 to 2017, we all know who was the president. We all know who was calling shots. One day he went to Kipkerion East and said, "Remember, you guys, I'm the man in charge. I'm the one who dispenses everything in this government. I am the president. The other one is in State House." But Miriam, I have to keep asking Kenyans, what is this magic stroke or this word of magic that William Ruto is coming to wave at Kenyans in 2022 that he has not waved for the last 8 years? As a person in Meru called Mankenywa, a Roko singer, asked Deputy President a question that I think I should highlight on this television. Asked the Deputy President about Miraa. He said that he is going to look for Miraa markets when he is elected president in 2022. Mankenywa asked, this man has been a co-president between 2013 and 2017. He did nothing on the Miraa issue. And now he is the Deputy President, Miriam.
Yeah, he is still the deputy president. Yes, he's still
yes. Constitutionally, he is the deputy president. He can pick the phone and call the president and tell him, "Your Excellency, the people of Meru are suffering." Why is he keeping us waiting for 18 months for him to be elected president? What is this word of magic that is going to wave across Meru County that our Miraa will find favor in the eyes of Wazungus? What is this wand of magic that is going to wave across Somaliland so that we, the people of Meru, can be able to access Miraa market? What is this wand of magic that this man is going to wave across Africa? Miraa will get acceptable across Africa.
So what you're saying?
The real problem that this professor. Yes, Miriam?
So Douglas, what you're saying is Deputy President, all these promises he's been making, saying that he will do them in 2022. And I think we've had this conversation and we've questioned even the genuinity of what he's been saying, because right now he is in a position to do a lot of these things he's saying he'll start doing in 2022. For heaven's sakes, he is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. So he is in a position to put policies in place and to influence some things to happen right now. So you're saying people should judge him from what he's doing right now to be able to see if at all he can make a good president. That's what you're saying, and not wait for 2022.
Miriam, Miriam, for the basic thinker, a man or a woman that would want to keep talking about William Ruto's presidency in 2022. Today, you are the senior anchor at Punchline Africa Television. You are asking me questions because you are seated there. You have the power to ask me questions today. You have the power to bring me on the show and ask me questions and question every kind of thought pattern that I bring along and every thought train and bring it online. That means you have the power today. When seated there, you can ask questions. You cannot tell me, Douglas, in 2023, when I'm employed at BBC, I'm going to do a super interview and you're going to talk about this legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta. We are talking about it today because you are seated there. For the basic thinker who doesn't want to think, for the basic thinker who doesn't want to keep believing that the deputy president is the greatest impediment to democracy and progress of this country, need to know that you, Miriam, where you are seated today, you are questioning Professor Jared Onyeri today. You are asking questions because you have the power and capacity. You have built the capacity to be able to ask these questions, and when we miss these questions, you can be able to answer us. But at the end of the day, what we are having today, this professor of political science should tell Kenyans the truth. The issues that we are having as a country, the problems that we are having as a country, are the deputy president and other people who are campaigning across counties. Governors who want to be president in 2022 instead of delivering for the next 18 months, Miriam. In 2022, it will be a crash of personal ambitions of, let's say, tens or 20s of Kenyans who want to be president, Miriam. It will be a crash of ambitions of personal ambitions of people. In 2022, it won't be about handshake. Handshake is beyond that. Remember, Miriam, when the Youth Commission is entrenched in the constitution, inclusivity, and also our secret violence that we have been dealing with every election year. When these issues are solved under this constitutional moment, these things are going to go beyond the 2022, Miriam.
Well.
This professor of political science should deal with us and tell us the real problem. The real problem in this country is a deputy president who is defiant, who cannot to work, uses public resources to continue campaigning for president, and also, Miriam, governors who want to be president in 2022. Those are the real problems. Those are the catch for 2022. It's not even the handshake, Miriam.
Very well.
The handshake has brought us more than what these people are telling us, Miriam. Thank you.
Sawa sawa. Asante sana, Douglas Kirimi hapo from Meru County. Now get a glass of water. I'll come back to you a bit later. Professor Onyeri has changed the conversation this morning. Professor, very good morning to you. Okay, so as we wait for Professor to join us, I'm sure he is joining us this morning. I think the same question to Musa Abdi, what this professor here is saying, professor of political science. Her name is Winnie Mitula, and she's saying that if the handshake crumbles, we would go into the 2022 polls in a difficult manner. Does a peaceful election of 2022 hinge on this handshake and the outcome of it thereof?
Thank you so much, Miriam. First of all, I would like to disagree with my brother Douglas there. There is no way we are going to postpone election to 2024. It is the subjugation of this country's democracy, Miriam, whether this country is prepared or not, we are going to have elections in 2022. And it is even beyond the office of the president or beyond the office of anyone in this country to postpone election, Miriam, because we are democratic. This is an office which is funded by taxpayers' money, and we believe Kenya is not in levels of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Somalia, or Burundi, terming election funds in inadequacy, Miriam. As far as that is concerned, you've asked me whether BBI shall determine the outcome of the 2022 election.
Yeah.
And whether maybe it shall be peaceful or, the transition there.
Does the handshake, does a peaceful election of 2022 hinge on the handshake and the outcomes of the handshake?
Miriam, that's a very complex matter in this perspective, but as far as this handshake is concerned, Kenyans are battling with another political agenda which is coming to the play, Miriam. And this is the class narrative. No matter how ugly it has been driven towards the public, this hustler narrative, Miriam, even though the person who authored it is much really weakened in terms of, ideologies, it is bringing some sense. I know William Ruto is baffled. He has really outplayed himself. He could have brought this class narrative using a very good political tool, convincing people. But otherwise, now he's using wheelbarrow and they're driving in helicopter. It's a story for another day. But now look at that hustler narrative, Miriam. Today in this country, people know the rich and the poor. People know the haves and the have-nots. At least even if much of them they don't understand, a good number of them understand. And Miriam, to this perspective, we've seen people now being organized into regional political parties. And this is very dangerous. When regionalism in a nation comes, Miriam, then it becomes very hard to achieve what we call nationhood and development of national ethos as enshrined in the BBI bill, Miriam. What am I saying by this? When Hassan Joho is telling the coastal people that the only way they can substantiate their politics regionally, Miriam, is by ensuring they manage their affairs through his presidential candidature. When the Luhya community are rallying behind Musalia Mudavadi, when in northern Kenya, Eden Duale is saying he's going to form his political party, it's as serious as it gets, Miriam. We've ethnicized, we've made it regional, our sense of ethnicity. What will I call it? Regional ethnicity, if that term can be available, Miriam. And so here we are. A good number of political parties already have entered into 2022 post-election agreement, that is KANU. Wiper has done so. So Miriam, what will happen if a new political outfit will come with uncertainty of this Kenyan politics we have? The other day, Orengo was shouting, there are some political servants, civil servants disturbing president's agenda. We never know, Miriam. So one issue here is that it definitely, yes, depends with Raila Amolo Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta's handshake, might indirectly or directly have an impact on 2022, the outcome there. But the problem, Miriam, is, are we going to accept the results post-2022? That is the question we are going to ask. Because look at our politicians, Miriam. All of them are in their last cards. Musalia Mudavadi is in his last card. Raila Amolo Odinga is in his last card. Gideon Moi, looking for apathy in the name of, his father, is in that political.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we seem to have suffered some technical hitch there from Musa. Professor, I don't know if you can hear me. Good morning. All right, Professor has not joined yet. So,
yeah, I'm with you, Miriam.
Professor, good morning. Nice to have you. So we were looking at, before we leave this topic and look at something else also, because our time is quickly running out, the Standard newspaper, the main headline there is Raila's option. And on page 6, they're asking, what if things were to fall apart and Raila bolts out of the handshake? First of all, are you even seeing a scenario where Raila will decide to just drop the ball and stop supporting the handshake? What if?
Miriam, we were discussing yesterday and we have discussed before what the handshake means for this country, what it was intended to achieve. Miriam, only a fool will only want to interfere with the handshake. The handshake, Miriam, was to bring harmony and peace and tranquility in the country. The handshake identified 9-point agenda, which we have translated into which read to the task force, which went around the country, Miriam, asking Kenyans how they feel they should be governed, Miriam, and what needs to be done, and how resources will be brought in about, Miriam. How we will attain 2/3 gender rule, how we will fight corruption, how we will bring in inclusivity, Miriam. So unless, Miriam, it is done, we cannot say it is done. So we are in the process. I would hate even to just indulge myself to discuss that the handshake is going to do the handshake. The handshake, Miriam, had 9-point agenda. And Parliament, I saw the members of Parliament saying that they are ready, Miriam, to debate that one. But Miriam, believe me or not, by June we should have dispensed the BBI. And if one will want to go its way and the other way, so be it. But I want to tell you, Miriam, let us not read too much, Miriam. This is the agenda setting of the media. The president and the prime minister have told us that their coming together has got nothing to do with 2022. So when 2022 will come, President Uhuru Kenyatta will retire, will go home, and the Prime Minister will want to try or not try. It is not a must. People think that it is a must that Raila becomes a president of this country. It is not so. Miriam, there are men and women in this country, who can take this country to another level. So those people who are pushing the Prime Minister, Miriam, they should spare him. Age is also catching up with him. History has recorded what he has been able to do for this country. So Miriam, those are the demonic wishes that the handshake is going to put out. And I don't want to enter into that territory. Miriam, we have got work to do. We have to do it. We have got a duty to take civic education to Kenyans, tell them the truth, not all the rights which is being peddled around by everybody else, these bodies. I saw the former Minister for Constitutional Affairs, Martha Karua, giving complete lies, and David yesterday. So Miriam, we have got work to do. Let us wish well for this country. Let us try not to imagine that the handshake is going to go either way. And one of the things I also need to correct Musa, he should not have a sympathy that the Prime Minister, the Deputy President of this country has done this. He is the cause to some of the programs which have not been achieved by the current government. He is the principal assistant of the government to the president. And Musa, wherever you see him, ask him how comes that he is the only one whom God has given money? What are some of the investment he has done in this country that he will have all this kind of money? Why is he not working? Why has he taken 5 years to campaign? And Miriam, to aspire is not to become. He's only aspiring. How I wish that he could have gotten the opportunity, Miriam. Because if history is going to be written, it is going to say that there was a deputy president in the Republic of Kenya who ran away from office and nobody chased him.
Okay. Thank you so much. There's a story that has caught my attention on the Star newspaper. Of course, the main headline there is Raila checks into Nairobi hospital for series of tests. Maybe that's why he was not able to go to that meeting we were told he was supposed to have at State House. He went to Nairobi hospital, and I think he's been advised to isolate for 2 weeks. So if he was not feeling well, there's no way he was going to go close to President Uhuru Kenyatta, because we don't know until we're able to know what really is happening to Raila Odinga. I'm just thinking loud, okay? But the story on page 6 of the Star newspaper, MPs Wanga and Gogo in near cat fight in Parliament. Very bad manners here. Our women representatives are taking to Parliament. Even the men do that sometimes. Homa Bay Women Representative Gladys Wanga yesterday nearly exchanged blows with Rangwe MP Lilian Gogo as county supremacy battles peeled into Parliament. The two MPs, who have had long outstanding differences, engaged in a nasty spat on the floor of the House in what almost degenerated into a physical fight. Gogo took on Wanga, claiming that the woman rep has developed a habit of traversing her constituency and launching development projects without her knowledge. The cruise of the conflict is that while launching projects, Wanga has been taking credit for them, telling Gogo's constituents that she had lobbied for them from the national government. This has not gone down well with Gogo, who has claimed that the move by county MP is meant to portray her as a failure who does not lobby for development projects from Nairobi. So they almost went there into a cat fight. Why do they have to take that to our parliament? That is our parliament, Douglas. These leaders.
Thank you, Miriam. And it also goes on top to the deputy president. The other day, he launched a CDF bus in Kianjai Girls. Miriam, this is a man who has launched a bus that belongs to Rakwet constituency and some high school in Rakwet constituency, Rakwet Girls High School. Miriam, when a deputy president goes ahead also, just like Gladys Wanga, and launches CDF projects across Meru County for 3 days, sleeping in high-end hotels, lying to the people of Meru, how he is a problem solver. He has been working with MP to deliver buses, NGCDF checks. Miriam, these people in our rural places have turned to be basic thinkers who will be ready to the Deputy President that he has been working with the CDF. Miriam, since the onset of CDF, these MPs have been receiving millions of shillings every year to bring development from national government. So there is no difference between these projects that come from Nairobi and the ones that the MP initiate. But for the purposes of clarity, there are projects that come directly from government agencies and parastatals and national government, and also from constituency and also governor, so that everyone will have their own scorecard, so that Gladys Wanga cannot have a scorecard for Manda Murogo, and also should not have we should not have William Ruto taking credit for what is happening across Meru and the transformation that we see in Meru. When the president gives the people of Meru a road, William Ruto takes credit of that. When an MP comes up and marams a road, William Ruto says, nimeweka pesa yangu hapo, and MP has also contributed some money. That is our money, Dr. William Ruto. It is a shame for people like Gladys Wanga, William Ruto, to continue taking Kenyans for foods and also lying to the people of Kenya. Imagine William Ruto has been transversing Meru County with over 3 choppers, paid high premium rates to these helicopters and flying around across Meru, launching CDF projects from Bori to Egembe Central to Imenti Central, where I come from, where the MP has not been able to rob even a single project from national government, but he has the audacity to tell William Ruto to tarmac our roads. When was William Ruto tarmacking roads anywhere, including in his US and Gishu backyard? When was William Ruto tarmacking roads anytime in Sugoi? Our MP should also, I take this opportunity to condemn that man, to stop asking William Ruto to tarmac our roads. There is a minister for roads. There are agencies that are concerned with those roads. They should be talking and robbing from those ones. And at the end of the day, when you come around and tell us you have been robbing for government and also talking to William Ruto to tarmac our roads and schools and all that, for 8 years, what has been William Ruto doing so that he can come and claim CDF projects? We know our CDF kitty is over 100 million every year. Our MP should stop lying to us. Gladys Wanga should stop lying to the people of Homa Bay because you want to run for MP. And every other person, your own scorecard is coming for William Ruto, a scorecard of defiance, a scorecard of corruption, a scorecard of not working with his boss is coming. We shall be able to know each and everyone for the work that he has been doing.
Thank you
and
so
Miriam,
much.
before I go, William Ruto has nothing rather than working with the opposition and also Rinda Katiba to destabilize the government, and he has nothing else rather than defying President Uhuru Kenyatta, defying Jubilee Party of Kenya, and also Miriam continuing to destroy the image of the president across the country, saying he doesn't deliver the project. Where does William Ruto get money for development?
We have to end now, Douglas, and I want to get a comment from every, just 1 minute, each person, each of the panelists before we conclude. Now, Homa Bay, Gladys Wanga is the woman representative for Homa Bay, and Lillian Gogo is the member of parliament for Rangwe. So there's a road that is being constructed by the Kenyan Rural Roads Authority. That is a national project. So Wanga visited the road in the morning and addressed the residents, saying the project is being done after she negotiated with the Ministry of Roads. And then a few hours after she was on the same road, Gogo also showed up to take credit. This is very childish. Jevan, this is not how to be a leader, really.
Thank you, Miriam. And the problem that we are seeing today, women rep taking credit for members of parliament projects, member of parliament taking credit for projects done by county governments, William Ruto taking credit for projects done by MPs in some areas of this country. These things, Miriam, all this confusion comes from leaders who don't think of the generation that we are. They don't think of development. They only think of the general election, the coming elections. That is why they are busy taking credit for what does not belong to them, because they want to get sympathy. They want to get votes from these 190. That is why they are telling them, I did this, so that they can come out and portray a picture of people who are saviors, of people who are development oriented. But that is not the case. Therefore, we need leaders who can think beyond general elections and deliver the mandate that they were elected to do. Gladys Wanga has affirmative action monies that is supposed to be helping women, but instead he is busy launching roads. And Miriam, these habits of women rep, going around opening roads, opening hospitals, opening all these kind of things.
Yes.
The elected represent the affirmative action is supposed to go there and ensure women gets credit, gets loan. Young girls are getting sanitary towels and so on, but they are busy competing with governors and so on.
All right.
Therefore, from all the top leadership, trickling down to MCAs and so on. Let someone, and Miriam, I think, as Kenyans, we need to go around and have an education and awareness so that we can know everyone, every elected leader and their mandate and what they are supposed to do. Because Kenyans also, they are ignorant. They don't know the roles of an MCA,
right.
they don't know the roles of women, and that is why they are taking advantage of by these.
Thank you so much. So maybe their mandates are not properly spelled in the constitution, so they're overlapping. But this idea, Wanga was there in the morning, and then Gogo went there in later, a few hours after Wanga left. But this is a national government project there. So why would they bring this pettiness to Parliament? As long as the roads have been made and people are benefiting, that should be the bigger deal. Musa, as we conclude, please, 1 minute.
Thank you, Miriam. Plato, a very good political scientist from Greek Republic, once said, a leader is the one who does the right thing rather than the popular thing. Our leaders are so populist that even launching a toilet, the other day I saw Didmas Baraza AP for Kimilili Miriam launching a blackboard in a classroom. So these are the kind of leaders we have.
Joking.
Leaders who are just good at launching anything wherever they go. And one reminder to them, Miriam, is that leadership is not shouting in public all the time. Leadership is not behaving like a political activist all the time. A leader is the one who can bring opponents, he can bring diverse groups on the table and discuss divergent issues with them, Miriam. Okay. And that is what has been happening in this African continent. I know if were it not for this COVID-19, Magufuli could have been taken to Europe. I'm very sure, or any political or a president of this continent, if all of them got sick, like the likes of Santos, they usually go to Madrid Hospital, Miriam. These are some of the things we should be shunning away. Populism will not help us. Populism is not fit for African continent. Okay. It is not for African society, Miriam. I submit.
Thank you so much. Did you say he went to launch a blackboard? All right.
Yeah, Didmas Baraza MP for Kimilili. I think 3 years ago he launched.
All right, and the people of Kimilili clapped for him. He did a good job. All right, there you go. Professor, end it for us.
Yeah, Miriam, I need to comment from the point of knowledge, not the point of ignorance. I don't want to condemn because I don't have full facts. They had every reason to square it out in Parliament because that's where they met. In any event, you heard me saying yesterday that what we have in this country, Miriam, these are not honorable members of Parliament. These are dishonorable. These are horrible members of Parliament. They can't do that. But one need to understand that Gladys Wanga has got ambitions of succeeding Awiti in Homa Bay County.
Yeah, she wants to be a governor.
And in any event, Miriam, it's also likely that she might have robbed because she's a country, she's a women
the chairperson, and she's also the chairperson of the National Assembly Finance Committee.
Is part of Homa Bay County. So there's a likelihood whether if we go by the first one, he will rob you. Because he does not belong to a section like the MP for Rangwe. Gladys can go anywhere and everywhere in the county. So there's a likelihood he might have robbed. But you know what may have happened? The other one may have felt that she could have been downgraded and Miriam and fight back. And you know what, Miriam? When you go to the rural areas, to the counties, Miriam, if you are not very careful, and if there is no signpost which is put that this project is for the national government, this is for the county government, this is for the member of parliament, this is for the RMCA, every other person takes credit. He will say, you see now I have brought the road, I have done this. That's why it is a requirement that it is law that any project which is being done, Miriam, should be written that this is for the national government, this is for the county government, this is for the member of the county assembly, this is what the women rep has done, and this is what an MC has done. That is what a civil society, Miriam, looks like. So let me not just be too much hard on Gladys Wanga. You know she has got a history. The other day she was being beaten in Matunguru. So she's a she's having issues on herself, Miriam.
All right, she's a tough lady, that one. Thank you so much, Professor. This has been Good Morning Africa. We shall be back where Dr. Matsanga shall be leading us in the
Miriam,
editor's
before
memo.
you finish,
I want us to conclude so that... Okay.
Can I come in to defend?
All right, go ahead.
Or to educate?
Go ahead.
A public officer remains a public officer of any government in the world. Look at this. Look at the Constitution. Yes, you are right, and I hope you are putting your footprints on the Constitution. That is, Wanga has a right anywhere in the Republic of Kenya, and I repeat, in the Republic of Kenya, to go and do her projects which enhance the citizenry of Kenya.
Oh, yes.
The only thing that you have to do is to liaise with the people on the ground. If they call you, you can help. You cannot say, I'm the MP of Homa Bay, Kendu, or MP of my Homa Bay. You know the Homa Bay people are my people. That island, they are Rusinga. Therefore, you don't have anything to do with Musa, who is in Isiolo. No. The only thing you cannot do, according to norms of politics, which is conventional wisdom, that you don't again go to that particular place and this member, the member of parliament, sitting member in that area, Miriam. I think that is the basis. I don't know, I heard Karanja was hard on this lady, and that Karanja has disappeared when I've arrived. I want Karanja to look at my face and know that this lady is one of the best ladies that we have, as far as asserting her points. When she stands to say something, people will follow. She's a good lady that worked against the tide of so many male chauvinism. Plenty of male chauvinism arrives in our African society. Therefore, Miriam, an MP is a public officer. That's why they can be charged anywhere. If you go to Mombasa and behave dishonorably, they don't look for your constituency, they look for your title. It's the people's title. It is the people who gave you the title. Javan Karanja, where are you? Any comments, Miriam? I think that I wanted to weigh in that debate as we come on the top of the hour.
All right. Thank you so much.
I don't know whether I've rubbed the people's bad behind.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
That's okay. We will see you with the editor's memo. Thank you for watching.
Thank you very much.